Yo, 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 you know what it is. It's your boy Snow, man. 3 points, baby. You know what it is. Conversion. Let's get it.
Hey, Coach, do you hear me okay?
I can.
Perfect. We'll get started here. We'll start with Rick Bonnell.
JB, how do you think LaMelo has been playing of late?
Well, he's a rookie, Rick. I mean, he has his highs and his lows. I mean, it's any typical rookie. He had a stretch there where he was playing extremely well. We need to find that again. But this is he's going through that typical rookie streak here. There's highs, there's lows. I'm seeing good, I'm seeing bad. He's got to get better, bottom line. So he's engaged. He wants to get better. He's capable of handling it. Last night, poor decision-making, and I think it affected him on the defensive end. But in general, I think he's played well. Last couple games, we got to see more improvement out of him on both ends.
Are defense and turnovers the measures you look at as far as when his minutes fluctuate?
It's really with anybody, Rick. It's not just LaMelo, it's everybody. If you're turning the ball over 5 times in 16 minutes, that ain't going to cut it for me. Whether it's a big guy, that could be Biombo, that could be a small. If you're doing that on the offensive end, you better be bringing something defensively.
Richard Walker.
Coach Borrego, Richard Walker, CarolinaSportsHub.com. Your assessment, you talked last night about how you were obviously happy to have Cody back. What is he looking like, and how much will his role change, or how much could his role change moving forward?
It's game by game right now. You know, got a little test run yesterday, 10 minutes. I thought there was some good stuff out there with him. I can't expect him to be back to himself in game one. It's going to take him a minute to get fully back to rhythm. You know, what that means as far as the rotation, I don't have an answer for you right now. We'll just, you know, work that out. I've said this before, I got to figure out Biz, Cody, and PJ at the 5. It's complicated for me, but I got to figure that out.
And when you say that, so you're looking at the possibility of changing, but you're not certain you're going to change anything right now.
Correct. I mean, but you know, something has to change, right? I mean, you bring a starter caliber player back into your rotation when you've been playing Biz at the 5, and Biz's numbers last night were just as good as anybody's. The starting group was not the problem last night. The starters played well. They were a plus last night. You know, but obviously there's a trickle-down effect here when you bring Cody back into this lineup, and I got to figure that out. It's not clean for me right now, but it's something I got to work through.
Sam Perley.
Hey, JB, kind of looking towards the weekend just a little bit. I know you had trouble scoring against the Magic last year in the 2 games you played. What is, at least for you, on initial glance, going to be the biggest point of emphasis going into this 2 games series back-to-back against the same team in the Magic?
Yeah, we saw them in preseason. They're a good defense. I thought we moved the ball in preseason well. We got good looks. They continue to be a good defense. We got to get good shots. I mean, our offense cost us last night with 20 turnovers. You know, our defense was okay for a period there, but it cost us. And a lot of that, some of that had to do with Chicago, and a lot of that had nothing to do with Chicago. It was just poor decision-making, bad passes, sloppy turnovers, leading to pick sixes going the other way. So if we do that again in Orlando, it's not going to be pretty, unless the guys promise to make 20 threes a night. We made 7 threes last night, and you couple that with 20 turnovers, that's not going to be a good night no matter where you're at. So it's the same thing, Sam, in Orlando. Good shots, good quality shots. Don't turn it over. Hopefully we make more shots than we miss.
Thank you.
Danny Thompson.
Coach Danny Thompson with the 3-point conversion. I know you said getting things together is an emphasis. How do you get Devonte and Terry going at the same time? Terry didn't really get his first basket until the 3rd quarter. Devonte got off to a good start. It seems like when you have games, one gets off to a good start and the other one seems to get in later on. How do you get both of them going early?
Great question. I wish I had an answer for you. Look, for us to be a good team, our guards have to lead the way, and we know that. You know, we're a guard-driven group. When Terry and Tay play well, we, in general, play well. You add Gordon to the mix now, LaMelo to the mix. I'm not saying every night all four are going to play extremely well, but we need more than one guy playing well. So, look, we got to get them both going. We're trying to get them both going. This isn't not like we're going out there saying we're going to get Terry going tonight or we're getting Tay go tonight. We want them all going. So some nights you just find the matchup. Sometimes it's one guy's hot. I thought Tay was good early, and we didn't find him, so much in the second half. Terry found his way into the second half. Gordon as well. So when we become a good team, all those guys are playing at an extremely high level. Most times in general in this league, you have 2 or 3 of your best guys, humming along, and the other guys pick it up at other nights. So that's all I got for you.
Hey, JB, you've been juggling your bench rotation in the last couple of games. Just wondering, how would you assess what you're getting from that group so far, and how do you kind of get it maybe going the way you want to, if at all?
Well, we need our bench to be better for sure, and they've played well. I mean, Miles, I think he's got off to a good start this season. Obviously, LaMelo's a 19-year-old. He's trying to figure it out, and he has good nights. He has bad nights. He's had good stretches. He's had bad stretches. We're trying to figure that out. I think in general, it's just about consistency. We got a bunch of young guys that are very inconsistent right now, and our bench is made up of that. So bringing Zeller back into the rotation off the bench, maybe that's going to help some. But in general, I think our bench is a strength of ours, or it can be. When we've played well and we've won games this year, our bench has been really good, and Miles has been a part of that, and LaMelo. When those two guys don't play well off our bench probably not going to be very good. So that's just the reality. We need them to play more consistently and play better for us to have a shot.
We'll go to Richie and wrap it up with Rick. Richie, go ahead.
Hey, JB, this is Richie of the Busby Podcast. This is a very wide open question. It doesn't really pertain to any specific person. In today's game, many people preach, versatility, having players that can play multiple positions, but very philosophical question here, but let's say you have a player that's really good at 2 things. Do you ever think that if you force that player to be more versatile or try to take on a bigger role, that it could take away from his original strengths? Or is it always necessary to push these players out of their comfort zone?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think it's an overall development question. And, in general, over my history of being in development programs, you really want to focus on 2 or 3 things in general for a player. And you want them to be good, if not great, in those areas and really master those areas. When you do, there's times when you try to stretch a player too far, they lose what they originally were good or great at. And I think that's, that comes down to coaching at times. You can lose a little bit of a player's strength if you try to stretch him too much. But the flip side of that, Richie, if you never try to stretch a guy, you don't know what you have. So it's a balance there, and it's a fine balance. But in general, players need to do what they do well. And in general, sticking to a couple skills is extremely important. But there's been guys that have been asked, to do a little bit more, and they've handled it, and they become a more complete player. You just have to go through that process. And sometimes you find out that players just can't handle it. They're just going to be a 3-and-D guy, and that's okay. And they fill a role there, and you don't ask them to do more or less than that. And I've been around a lot of players that have made a lot of money in this league and won championships, and they have banners hanging in the rafters, just doing that role. I did X, Y, and Z, nothing less, nothing more.
Thank you.
Last question, Rick, go ahead.
Hey, JB, I know that a rotation by definition is a living, breathing, evolving thing. The last couple of games, it seems like you have tightened it up, not only in terms of the number of players, but in some cases, how much players beyond Miles and LaMelo play. How much of that was a function of something you plan to do, and how much of it is a function of just what you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're talking actual minutes or number of guys in the rotation. You know, I'm comfortable at 9 in the rotation. I think I played up to 10. I'd like to stay in the 9. You know, no more than 9 consistently for our club. If I have to play 10, I'll play 10. Some guys have played more minutes, and that's just a function of the game. I'm not necessarily trying to push their minutes to 38 minutes a night. It's just a product of what I've seen on the floor. My hope is that those guys off the bench can handle more minutes and earn more minutes. I'm not just handing you minutes. Right now, you got to go earn minutes. So if you earn more minutes, I'll play you more. That's the bottom line.
Thanks.
Thanks, JB.
Thank you.